Ladies and gentlemen, this is Ameer. I'm a chartered certified accountant, and I have came across a very interesting thing, and I consider this my obligation and duty to inform you people about this. This video is actually recorded to reveal some of the very interesting things that is going on behind the banks, and particularly we are going to talk about interest and bank deposits. And why this is important, because everything that revolves around the world, it is like interest is going to affect that. It means a very good understanding of that will make you able to take good financial decisions. By the way, the information on this video has been scrutinized by financial experts, and you can absolutely trust it, and because it's based on the calculations, it's non-biased and it's based purely on numbers. So we are going to start talking about it. So in order to understand this video, you have to understand some terms, right? What are those terms? I'm going to explain that for you people. First, we have to understand the banks, right? And I'm going to make sure that I explain that as simple as possible to understand it, and it's not going to be very detailed, so the experts out there should not be like, this video is not for expert usage. It's just to inform the ordinary people who have very ordinary and simple understanding of the finance, to inform those people about the financial consequences of interest. Alright, so we're going to talk about the first term is bank, and second term is time value of money, right? If you understand these two things, you're going to be able to understand this video. First, talking very briefly for the sake of this video, banks play role of intermediary. It means that we have got financial providers, means me and you, ordinary people, and we have got the people who need money for their investments. I mean companies, right? For example, Mr. A has got a company and he wants money for the sake of in order to invest in a project. He does not have money. He goes to the bank, and bank gets our money and aggregate it and loan it to that person. So the bank played a role of intermediary, right? He gets a very significant amount of interest from that person or that business, and he gives a very small portion of that to the people. All right? So particularly this video is about the people who deposit their money into the banks for a fixed interest annually or monthly or that. Okay, so the second thing that we have to understand in order to make sense of this video is time value of money. Simply, what is that? Time value of money is basically like the money that were the future money will have less value than today's money. I'm gonna make it super simple for you people. For example, consider what could $100 or £100 would do in 100 years ago. If you have watched the movie, the series Peaky Blinders, you realize that the people are getting paid 4, 5, or 6 or 10 pounds per month, right? And they are very happy. So what if you're paid like 10 pounds today, monthly? You cannot for 10 pounds buy, for example, 2 ice creams for 10 pounds today. It means that every single day the value of money decreases due to various factors, particularly inflation, right? And when something is printed, excessively, for money is printed excessively, right? When something is printed, something becomes abundant, its value decreases. That is one of other reasons that value of money decreases based on the time. So we have explained the term of bank, what role banks play between me and the business owners, and time value of money, the fact that my $100 today will have less value in 5 years later. Means if I have $100, if I save it somewhere, and if I 5 years later, if I get it, that is not $100 of today. That is $100 of 5 years later. It means that it might be $50 of 5 years later, like compared to today, right? Hope that makes sense. Okay, for the next part, I'm going to give you, so you're going to ask me, so how is interest a scam? Okay, I'm going to make a calculation that banks and business analytics and the people who evaluate the projects do in order to evaluate their projects. For example, Warren Buffett, these investors do these calculations in order to take a reasonable decision for their investments, but you do not do that, right? You simply invest your money and you get it for the sake of simplification. So this formula right here calculates the value of future money compared to the today, right? For example, you have got $100 in 20 years later. That with that $100 you could have paid for the rent, you could have bought your grocery and more, so on and so forth, right? But today, with that $100 in Western countries, you cannot do much, right? So this formula actually calculates the value of money, the purchasing power of money in the future, right? So I'm going to give you a very simple example, and I'm going to illustrate that in a way that you understand it better. Suppose that Mr. A has deposited £100,000 into the bank, right? And receives an interest of 5% per year of his money. In 1 year, Mr. A is so happy, over the moon, that, okay, my money is my money, and I have received 5% of my money, which is going to be $5,000 in 1 year, and I'm good. But, okay, let's assume that Mr. A has actually let his money to be in the bank for 5 years, right? In 5 years, each year, $5,000, it's going to be $25,000, right? So in total, his money with the interest accumulated, that is going to be $125,000. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, for the purpose of this illustration, we have considered Mr. A to invest $100,000 into the bank with the interest rate of 5%, and for the time of like 5 years. In first year, that person will be able to earn $5,000 of interest. In 5 years, he will be able to withdraw his money. So his money plus 5,000 interest, 105,000, and at the end of the 5 years, that person will be able to withdraw 125,000 from the bank, and he's so happy. He has made a profit of how much? Actually, this minus his original money will be 25,000. Okay, that person is so happy. I have made a profit of, actually, like 25,000. But we bankers or the investors do not evaluate a project based on that. We consider the impact of time value of money, right? So for that reason, we have to understand finance cost. For the purpose of today's video, I'm not going to explain the finance cost in detail, but you have to understand it. Finance cost is the combination of factors that impact the future value of money. It means that the future value of money, which I earlier explained to you people, is going to be actually calculated based on finance cost. And finance costs actually differ based on the specific project or company or industry, government, or like lots of factors. But for today's video, we are going to just consider 10% to be our finance cost, right? So that is going to be fine, okay? So what would be the finance cost? I have shown you the formula. Now we are going to implement that. 1.1, one is the number form of our percentage of finance cost, right? So for that reason, 1.1 power to minus, my keyboard is a little bit not working. Okay, so as you see that the finance cost for the first year, like the discounted value of money in the first year is 1. What does it mean? It means that then $100,000 in the first year, right? It means that $100,000 wouldn't lose its value. $100,000 would be, so how much $100,000 would be in today's money value? Obviously, it's not going to change, it's going to be $100,000, right? So, but what about the future years, right? That is very important to understand. Okay, these auto-generated numbers or the value of money in the, in the first year, second year, third year, fourth year, and fifth year, final year, right? So basically it means that this $5,000 in the first year actually do not have $5,000 value. It has $4,545, and similarly we're going to get all of that. This let me round it off, right? So this $5,000 wouldn't have 5,000 value due to the discount factor. In the next year, this $5,000 would have actually 4,000 value. In the next year, it would have 3,700 value. And so we are going to accumulate or get the sum of the money that this person, Mr. A, has actually based on the real calculation of the money has made in order to come up with the conclusion that whether this person has earned something or not, right? So what is the total value that this person has actually made? It is what? 81,046. So now we are going to compare this money to the actual deposit that this person has made, right? Right? You see that it is not a profit anymore. It's actually nearly $20,000 loss, right? So Mr. A was so happy. I have actually made a profit of $25,000, but in reality, taking into account the consideration of the time value of money, that person has made a loss of nearly $20,000. So how we get this number? we have calculated the discount value, the real purchasing power of the $125,000 in 5 years later, and we have compared it to the hundred thousands of dollars of today. So hope you understand it. This is something that I have came across my studies, and I was so astonished about this fact. People consider that this money has value, but actually it does not have any value, because its value will decrease. If you save your money, if you invest your money into the banks, and you will not be able to take advantage of that money in the future. And instead of that, you have to, for example, consider Mr. A, instead of depositing that money to the bank, has bought an asset, for example, a land in a very in a place that does not have a very significant risk. Or if Mr. A has bought gold or some other assets, the value of the money would certainly have doubled or tripled, or at least wouldn't have perished like this.